Have you heard about this personal and professional podcast?
Coaching in Session
with your host, Michael Rearden.
So the fateful week has finally arrived. It is going to be Valentine's Day week. And going on with the flow of the podcast, every Valentine's Day week, I make sure I make it all about love, make it all about relationships. So whether you are in a committed relationship or you are looking for a relationship, this week is going to be for you. I have found something out when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, that it is actually quite simple, yet challenging. Today, we're just going to be talking about the aspect of love and how to keep it in your life. So I have an article here. It's called Growing and Changing Together in Love. This article is just talking about how love evolves. When we think of a relationship, we think of a commitment of just being with one person, right? I'm going to be with this person forever or for an extended period of time. What tends to happen, though, in most relationships is that they start really good. They're in the honeymoon phase. Everyone's lovey-dovey. Everyone's happy. But then somewhere down the road, we go different ways. We have different thoughts, feelings, and actions that are not going to be in line with helping nurture the relationship. So since we don't have a good obstacle or a good challenge of what is a relationship or what a relationship should be, we say, you know what? I'm going to find something easy. So when we think about a good obstacle or a good challenge, it's something that is going to help us grow, right? For example, college can be a good obstacle for some people. When we think of training, be it physical fitness or on-the-job training, that could be difficult, right? That obstacle, that challenge can be difficult. But when we get over the obstacle, it's better, right? When you're getting to know somebody in a relationship, the challenge of getting to know them, going on dates and things like that, maybe you learn their trigger points, right? For example, when me and my wife started dating, there was things that I did and she was like, I don't like that. I'm like, okay, like now I know you don't like it. I didn't know before. Same thing with me. She did things and I'm like, I don't like that. And then now it's just kind of like we do the things that each other likes. Like we don't purposely do the things that they don't like. You know, and you understand your partner. Now, understanding them and growing with them is two different things. Understanding them is being able to almost read their mind, to be able to predict their moves. And I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect. But what I am saying is, if you can do that and you want to do that, your relationship is going to thrive a whole lot better than for people who are kind of like, my happiness is his problem, or she's supposed to make me happy and she's supposed to make me sandwiches and he's supposed to make the bills and pay the bills and take out the trash. And I mean, these gender roles and stereotypes are going to be the things that hurt your relationship the most. Because the moment something doesn't happen your way in that relationship, for example, let's say the garbage needs to be taken out. The guy didn't take the garbage out. The wife might say, why is the garbage not taken out? So now is a trigger point for an argument. Maybe she can take out the trash, right? Maybe she can say, hey, the trash needs to be taken out. Maybe she just puts the trash in the garage or something, or outside of the door. So when he's going out, he can take out the trash. Now, these things might seem so small, but they add up to being the big part of things. Because if we don't even look at the little things add up to the big things. It might be trash one day. It might be leaving your socks on the floor one day. It might be leaving all your clothes on the floor in the closet of the master bedroom closet or something, or of how you wash clothes or how you put away the dishes. And I mean, there's so many little things that add up to the big things. So sometimes those little things can be trigger points for many individuals. So I'm going to be so upset. So I'm going to stop doing things that are going to help nurture my relationship. I'm going to stop communicating with them. I'm going to stop going on dates with them. I'm going to stop having sex with them. I'm going to stop doing all of these things in order to get payback, or something even more simple, to show them that maybe I'm upset, or to present with them an idea that I don't necessarily need them. And here's the kicker. You don't need your person, nor do they need you. I know, right? It sounds crazy. Why be in a relationship then? Well, what is a relationship? A relationship is something that a person is going to willingly step into most of the time, depending on culture. And they're going to say, I'm committing to a person because I understand that together we can go further. And you have to make sure you do that damn work in the beginning. Many people, they fail to do the work in the beginning of the relationships, and then they find out later on in life, oh man, this person's not for me. Many people don't just change so frequently and so fast. And if you do change, if you change together, you will be together forever. Versus if you do not change together, this is where we have problems in our relationships. So talking about this article once more, growing and changing in love together, we look at the core status of what love is. We look at the idea of the challenges of what a relationship is, and then how to overcome it. There's going to be key ways that we're going to be helping us maximize our relationship. And the key ways are going to be in just 5 points. Number 1, embrace challenge together. 2, practice open communication. 3, reflect and support each other. And 4, weather challenges together. As I said, in life, you can grow different ways, right? You can grow in career while they grow in, physical prowess and, one or other, right? They don't have to be so different, but to the person, they could be so different. For example, let's say I'm being more health conscious and my wife is not being health conscious. I can say that's a deal breaker. I can say, well, you're over here eating all these cakes and ice creams and it's distracting me from, being health conscious. And I know that's a bad excuse, a bad reason, but it could be a valid reason for someone to check out. Like, you don't love me anymore. You don't take me out anymore. Well, for that same reason, you're more health conscious and she's not. Maybe she packed down a couple pounds. And so now you don't see her as someone who is attractive to you or viable to you. There's other girls maybe in your office or girls in the gym that you see, and you say, I fancy these girls more. And it's not only about just the physical attraction, it's the value aspect, the value of health and fitness. You have to understand the values that you pick in a partner typically don't change. So for me, before I got married, health and fitness was a value of mine. I wanted to be healthy. Guess what? It's still a value of mine. And I know in 50 years, it's still going to be a value of mine because I understand the moment I stop moving is the moment I start dying. And the same thing happens in a relationship. It needs to be constantly flowing. It's not something that can just be, right? You get a relationship and it just is, right? Your person is just there. No, it doesn't work that way. There's going to be a constant flow, the good and the bad, right? The sunny days and the rainy days. We take it for what it is. I am going to say that you're definitely going to have more sunny days than rainy days. But yet those rainy days can be almost a test of who you are, because it's going to say, hey, do you want to be in the storm or do you want to find shelter? And most people want to find shelter, right? They don't want to be in that storm. So looking at the idea of embracing change together, that's going to be one of our first points. That first point is saying that as we grow up, we are going to change naturally. Think about it. When you are 16 years old, think back when you were 16. I can even think back when I was 16. It's over, 20 years ago? That is, something I can think about, like literally the things that we're doing, the good things and the bad things. And, relationships, how I was, my mindset, my ego, everything. I know about it. Now, I'm not saying that you need to remember who you were when you were 16, because maybe it wasn't good and you're trying to forget. Maybe there's traumas, etc., right? But what I'm saying is, when I was 16, I was definitely not the best candidate to be a husband. Yeah, sure, maybe a boyfriend. Maybe I could have learned to be a good husband. But comparing myself to today, to then, I wasn't a good husband. The things that I did and the things that I would do, my mindset, my maturity wasn't good. Now, was I more mature than most of my peers? Yes. Can I say that, well, I'm better than most people? Yeah, I could have did that, but it's not about being better than most people. It's about being better than yourself. That means you're growing. That means you're changing. That means you're understanding that there's a level bar. And as you grow, you level up. As you mature, you level up. As you progress in life, you level up. So I'm a different level than I was. And you do not want to say, I'm the same person I was 10 years ago, because you have failed. If you were an amazing person 10 years ago, you should be even a more amazing person today. That's just the way it is. You grow. You go to the gym every single day for 10 years. You're not going to say I'm the same as I was 10 years ago. Where is growth? Where is the idea of progress? It's not there. We grow, we change, we evolve. That is what life is. So if I'm not embracing that change from when I was 16 till today, I am going to have a hard time embracing change in a relationship. Because when I get married, let's say I got married at 30. At 30, I understand something. At 40, I'm going to have a different mindset. This is only a decade, 10 years. So that means at 30, I might have a mindset that's really good, right? Mindset, everything is good. But my mindset should be even better by 40. It should be better at 50. It should be even better at 60. And that includes my health. That includes my mindset. That includes my living situation. Everything should be evolving. Now, sometimes within that time span of 10 years per se, you might take a step back, and that's fine, because you understand that you're going to take multiple steps forward later on. If you don't take those steps with your partner for changing, right? Because if you can honestly say, all right, at 30, I'm the same as 40, and your partner was doing this, doing the right thing at 30, I'm this person. At 40, I'm this person. Now you are 10 years behind your partner. And you might say, well, my partner should accept me for who I am and what I do. No, they shouldn't. They should accept you for the values and the character that you were in the beginning of the relationship. That doesn't change. Of course, you're going to have different opinions, different thought patterns that might come about, but things don't necessarily change all willy-nilly and so quickly and abruptly. You can see change over a long span of time. Look at a picture, for example, when you were younger. Then look at a picture of when you are today. You can say, I look so different. You can see that change. The change that is hard to see is a change that happens every single day. If you look in the mirror today, tomorrow, the next day, you're not going to see many differences because you're acclimating to the change slowly every single day. However, if you say, I'm not going to look at the mirror for 10 years, and then you finally look in the mirror, you go, whoa, I'm very different than what I remember. And many people, when they have relationships, that's what they see the relationship as, not as the beginning of the relationship. You have to continually look at your relationship just the same way you look at yourself. Because if you think a relationship is going to be a photo that you have taken and it's going to stay like that forever, think again. Because things are going to change. Physical appearances are going to change. Mindset's going to change. And as things change, challenges might arise because now the obstacles and the challenges that are going to be present, you have to overcome them, right? So when change happens in life, you have to be able to change together, because if you're not growing together, you're growing apart. So we have to implement things to make that change more palatable. Number 2, practice open communication. They say that you need 90 minutes of communication a week. Good communication. Not, hey, babe, good morning. Not, hey, do you need some milk, or do we need milk, or something like that? Like, that's not good communication. Another form of bad communication is, oh, let's watch a movie together. And then you spend 90 minutes watching a movie together, and maybe you have some comments here and there. Great, cool. That's not good communication. Good communication can arise from sitting at the table with no cell phones, talking about your day, talking about what's to come, planning. Another form of good communication is to have a weekly or monthly life coaching meeting, what we have. And you just talk about things, talk about problems, talk about upcoming things, talk about plans that you would like to implement. From there, hopefully get some feedback. If no feedback is given, then figure out where and how to get the feedback you need. Because your partner might not be the best at something, right? So say you want to start a business. Maybe your partner has no idea how to start a business. So that's when you have to get a business coach. If you're having struggles with certain things like your health and your fitness, and you might need a personal trainer, so you get a personal trainer. One of the things we do here at Reven Concepts is we offer so many different types of coaching where someone can come in, get what they need, take what they need, leave what they don't, and then walk out the door in a better situation. So if you are one of those people who are suffering from chronic issues in your relationships or just in general life, and you're struggling and is causing pain in your relationships, or maybe just even in your general life, reach out to us, revenconcepts.com, get yourself a consultation, and then from there, begin the process. One of the things we do is communication. We talk, we figure out what needs to be done. And in a relationship, if you can't talk it out, if you can't communicate to the other individual what you want and what you need, there's going to be so many problems later on. So communication is big, and you have to know how to do it. And there's can be no distractions, no iPads, no movies going on, no cell phones, just you and them talking, figuring out what's going on. You did it in the beginning of the relationship, getting to know them. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, yeah, you just have a roommate. Love is not about, or a relationship or marriage even, it's not about having a roommate. It's about having a partner that wants to see you win as much as they want to win, or having a partner that, treats you as an extension of themselves. It's not about having two independent people coming together and be independent together. It's about having two individuals understanding that I'm interdependent with my partner, meaning we work together, we work as one. And even though I do things sometimes that might benefit me today, I understand that tomorrow, maybe down the road, we're going to be able to say that this was a benefit for both of us. Maybe one person's going to college and it's going to help build up the money pool for the family, and the other person's kind of holding it down, taking care of the kids, taking care of the bills. It can be that. It could be something as simple as, all right, one person's going to go to work, I'm going to take care of the house, right? The static or the typical American dream, where, that's starting to evolve and starting to change. So there is an idea of modern love. And we talked about it already in the podcast. So I encourage you to check that episode out, where we can have that modern type of relationship and still have good communication, still have two people that can work, raise a family, and still come out on top. So there's so many ways that you have to understand how to communicate, and it depends on your situation. 3, we talked about this briefly, but reflect and support each other's growth. Now, we all have dreams, right? Typically, one of the things that I do when I do workshops and seminars is I ask people, I say, raise your hand if you have a dream. And typically, 70% of people are raising their hands. And probably the other reason the 30% are not, maybe they're checked out or maybe they're not listening, right? So we all have dreams, right? Whether you like it or not, you have a dream. The dream might be, you know what? I would like to have this certain car, or maybe I would like to go on this vacation. And maybe it's just a goal to you, right? Because dreams are one of those things that you might give yourself of, dreams are just a dream, right? I would rather have a goal so I can make it tangible. A dream can be a goal, right? They're almost used in the same context, right? Dreams and goals. But we say that we have goals. But when we have dreams, it affects our mindset a lot more than a goal. A goal is almost like a business transaction. A dream, that's a lot more grandiose, it seems like. So we think of growth in the terms of being better than who we were the day before or the year before, whatever it be. we understand that growth is change, and change takes time. We can change for the better or we can change for the worse. Many individuals change because the world changed them. Meaning, as you grow up, you get older, your bones start to break down, you start to get a little bit heavier, maybe a little bit slower in the sense of now you're not moving as much as you used to. Maybe you get a bit more recluse, whatever it be. That change can have a negative effect on your mentality, your mindset, and it can even stem into now your relationship. Because if you're not growing, your partner is going to say, well, I'm doing all of this change and I'm doing all of this growing, and you're just kind of staying where you are. Because I don't know many people who stay where they are and they have dreams of something better. And if they stay where they are, they're looking at this dream and they're not making any progress toward it. Now, if their partner makes progress toward it, they might say, oh, wow, they're making progress toward that dream. And maybe that partner is going to lift them up, right? They should. But not saying it's their responsibility. Because if you have two people having the same idea of growth, we're going to grow together. So I'm going to build you up and you're going to build me up in a sense. And it's not someone's responsibility unless you're like, again, a life coach building someone up. If someone has the ambition, if someone has the discipline, if someone has the mindset for growing, then you have to understand they're going to grow. You have to be that person that is going to supplement their growth or is not going to inhibit their growth. This is something that can be, as an example, if someone is trying to, let's say, have a business, right? Businesses are real easy. The business is not doing too good in the beginning. The partner might say, well, my living situation is not good. And, my boyfriend before me or my husband before me or my relationship before me, that was so much better because he had all this money or she had all this money. And we're over here struggling. We're eating ramen noodles and we're having a hard time paying the bills, right? So it could be a huge strain. Financial strain is one of the biggest reasons why relationships struggle. That can be a deterrent because now they're looking at the past and not so much of the future. If you have a partner that understands that you're trying to break through and trying to grow, and if they can help you, support you, not even talking about finances now, I'm just talking about the spirit of I'm here with you. I understand it's hard. If we have to sleep in the car, we'll sleep in the car together. It's do or die. So we are going to grow together. We're going to get through this change. Now, there's an idea for good change. There's an idea for bad change. If you are changing and it's having a negative impact on your life and everything, then you need to reassess. But if you understand the things that you're doing can be good and will be good, keep pushing through, right? They say it's dark is right before dawn. When you're trying to evolve and we're trying to change, especially when it comes to business, it's going to be challenging. That's why so many businesses fail and even more relationships fail. So you have to be able to understand it's about growing together. It's not about one person doing so well and exceeding and the other person's just kind of hanging out and doing nothing, having no ambition. Because at some point, it's going to be a turnoff to that person who was doing the right thing and being so ambitious. It's about saying, hey, we're a team. We're in this for, forever, right? Then we get into this idea of weather challenges together. Now, I just realized I said 5, and I'm going to tack on a bonus. I don't have it here in the article, but we have to weather the challenges together, right? Similar to what I was saying previously. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. And if you are one of the people who run away at the inception of all of the bad days, you're just not going to have a relationship that is worth fighting for. You have to give yourself this commitment idea when it comes into a relationship. If I'm in a relationship, it's not so much about only saying all the good days and all the vacations and all the honeymoons. It's about understanding that there's going to be days when we don't agree with each other. Maybe moments in the whole span of things. Maybe someone changes in political spectrums and is like, oh man, this is a challenge because now I have to accept my partner is now thinking this way and I don't like that. Well, it's not so much about exactly always what you like. It's about what you commit to. And then the fifth one I want to say is, I don't have it here in the article, but this could be a bonus for the podcast, is there's going to be different types of relationships that you have to understand. Because if we're trying to maximize our growth in a relationship, we need to understand our partner. Now, if you're married, for example, this is going to be an easier way to view your marriage. Your partner is going to have either one or the other ways of thinking. There could be a hybrid, but typically there's not. Your partner is going to either accept anything you become, or they're going to expect you to be at minimum of who you were. What does that mean, Michael? It means this. If you start a relationship and let's say you look a certain way, you have a certain persona, your partner is going to say, this is what I'm expecting throughout marriage. Now there's going to be another person who has the aspect and idea of what marriage is until death do us part, a commitment to be forever. It doesn't matter how you change. It doesn't matter what views you have. You are my person and I'm your person forever. So you have two different ways of thinking. One person who's going to understand if the change is not pertinent to what I'm looking for, the relationship is not going to be good. And it's not only about a beauty standard. All right. I don't want people to think like I'm less beautiful than I was when I was 16. But yet, I mean, if you talk to any woman, she's going to say she's a 10 at 16. She's going to say she's a 10 at 35 or a 10 at 47. I mean, I see it all the time. It's not so much about how you perceive beauty. It's how he perceives your beauty. All right. That's for men. Now, of course, a woman can have the same aspect. He's now fat and lazy. He has a bare belly. And, this is not appeasing to me. That's typically the third thing down the line for what women want from men. Now, I'm not saying that every woman is, someone who wants money, status, then the guy to be in good shape, have some level of stature, 6 feet tall, etc. This is, preference at some point because you can be 5'5" and he can be 5'7", and the relationship can work so well. You might not be able to wear high heels or anything, but the relationship still works. It's not so much about who they are on the outside, it's who they are on the inside. So mindset plays a big part in how you can grow together, and how you view your relationship is going to be so important. So looking at this article once more, growing and changing in love together, it's important to understand that there's going to be key ways that you can maximize your growth. Embracing change together, practicing open communication, 3, reflecting and supporting each other through their growth, weathering challenges together, and then understanding the mindset behind, who they are and then what they expect out of the relationship today and tomorrow. So all of these things can help you grow in a relationship. And if you are one of those individuals who are not growing together in a strong, in a positive manner, I encourage you to reach out to us, revenconcepts.com, get a consultation. We do so much group coaching. I know we had an influx of people coming in because this was a political year. So people had different views in the relationship where their partner voted for the opposing party. And it was like, how could you do this to me? You betrayed me. And it was a whole mess of things. But we were able to iron out most of those relationships. Some people are just so adamant about what they want in life. And they refuse to change. They refuse to grow together. That's going to be one of the most difficult things that you can do in a relationship. Have a viewpoint that is so strict and so stringent that is not essentially, for your longevity of lifestyle and growth. Your political views today can change, but typically the values that you hold, the character that you are, is not dependent on who's in office or what the world is doing. Many people think that they are their circumstance when the reality is they should drive the circumstance. So if you are ready to change your circumstance, if you're ready to evolve with your relationship and evolve in love, make sure to stay tuned to the podcast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and to stay tuned, especially this week, because we're going to be keeping on with the idea of love every single episode this week. Because if it ain't love, is it really worth it?